By the time Eleanor Hargrove built her criminal empire on my stolen ranch, I already owned the mineral rights beneath every mansion in her development. But let me back up. Picture this. I'm dodging mortars in the Middle East, serving my country, when a call makes my blood run cold. Some HOA, which named Eleanor, has legally sold my grandfather's ranch, 1,500 acres of prime American soil in our family since 1892, where my Purple Heart grandfather is buried, sold for pennies while I'm bleeding for freedom overseas, and I come home to gravel crunching under surveyor boots. Strangers staking out my family cemetery, Eleanor thinking she'd stolen everything from a broken veteran who couldn't fight back, unaware that Grandpa's 1960s property documents gifted me legal ownership of the ground beneath 50 luxury homes worth $47 million combined. What would you do if your inheritance was stolen? Drop a flag emoji where you're watching from, because this could happen anywhere in America. This is how one veteran turned an HOA land grab into the costliest property lesson these thieves ever faced. My name is Nathan Blackwell, a third-generation rancher who spent 18 months keeping peace in the Middle East, dodging bullets, and missing my grandfather's funeral while an HOA vulture circled my inheritance like a buzzard. The Blackwood Ranch, 1,500 acres of rolling hills, pristine pastures, and the clearest spring-fed lake this side of the Appalachian Mountains, built by Grandpa post-World War II with his GI Bill and Purple Heart pension, every fence post driven by weathered hands, every barn beam cut from our timber, not just property, but 3 generations of blood, sweat, tears. The ranch borders Oak Ridge Heights, 50 lakefront mansions where tech executives and trust fund babies pay $200,000 to $500,000 to live near real America, never working honest labor, but complaining about cattle smells and dawn roosters. I pull into my driveway after a nightmare flight from Iraq, expecting familiar pastures, but instead, fresh surveyor paint stinks up century-old oaks. Orange sold signs stab my family's soil like daggers. Surveyors with clipboards map my land, driving stakes through Grandpa's prized rose garden, crushed petals mixing with diesel fuel from their equipment. 800 acres gone, sold to the Oak Ridge HOA for $2.3 million. Robbery at $2. $875 per acre for land worth $8,000. My savings at $247. My remaining 700 acres under unexplained development restrictions. But what boiled my blood was the chain-link fence rattling around my grandfather's fresh grave, haunting my dreams. That's when I met Eleanor Hargrove, every nightmare HOA president in one quaffed package, 52, driving a white Mercedes G-Wagon worth more than most. Salaries, measuring grass with a ruler, filing 47 violation complaints in a year, her victims just wanting peace. She stands in my driveway, smirk curdling milk, saying, military housing allowance doesn't cover property taxes, does it, soldier boy? Shoving forged documents claiming tax delinquency my bank records disprove. Your grandfather should have planned better, she sneers. Adjusting sunglasses costing more than my combat pay. This is what happens when military families think they're above civic responsibility. I'm in my uniform, fresh from defending her freedom. And this parasite lectures me on patriotism, the irony burning like tear gas, threatening to arrest me for trespassing on my own land, speed dialing her sheriff, my nightmare. Divorce lawyers drained my savings to $247. The local attorney, Eleanor's golf buddy, can't take my case. County clerk's office lost my records. My bank denies my automatic tax payments. Watching strangers stake my grandfather's grave. I silently vowed Eleanor had no idea who she was messing with. Grandpa's knowing smile and old photos hinting he'd left more than land. Military training teaches patience, strategy, weak points, and she'd learn why you don't mess with a veteran's legacy. Eleanor wasn't just stealing land. She wanted my reputation too, filing a restraining order within 48 hours. Claiming I threatened military-style violence, a lie the local judge rubber-stamped, banning me from half my county. She installed military-grade cameras on my property, painting me as a dangerous outsider with neighborhood app posts about aggressive veteran behavior and PTSD episodes, hosting community safety meetings about undesirable elements. Her perfume masking bigotry as she surgically assassinated my character, but military intelligence doesn't vanish with the uniform. While she played social media, I played chess, recalling Grandpa's advice. When politicians lie, truth hides in paperwork. I drove 200 miles to state archives, spending my last $47 on gas, finding 1892 land grants, Grandpa's Purple Heart citations, and proof my taxes were never delinquent. Redirected by a clerical error to fake delinquencies, a scam my divorce attorney warned about, military personnel protected under federal law. The county assessor, living in a $340,000 mansion at 47 Oak Ridge Drive, approved this emergency sale 30 days before the legal waiting period. Eleanor's greed creating a fraud-screaming paper trail. I expected justice, but she doubled down, hiring a PI to dig up dirt on my divorce and deployment, local papers painting me as a troubled veteran, the editor's wife at 23 Oak Ridge Drive. Her harassment included noise complaints for my tractor, citations for running cattle, unauthorized construction for fixing my fence. Her evil genius, stakes driven through Grandpa's rose garden at 3 a.m., destroying 60-year-old plants. Security footage showing her groundskeeper. Her response: roses encroached on community property. We have standards. This was about power, not money, but she picked the wrong veteran. Her response to my evidence was a $500,000 lawsuit for trespassing and damage, claiming my cattle were weaponized against homeowners. Laughable, but serious. She hired an $800 an hour law firm. But I contacted the Military Legal Aid Society, a JAG officer connecting me to Rebecca Lawson, a pro bono HOA abuse specialist who'd lost her father's farm. She found Oak Ridge's HOA never properly incorporated, operating illegally for 3 years, collecting unauthorized fees. Eleanor's landscaping firm, Hargrove Designs, got a $180,000 contract the month she stole my land, robbing me to pay herself. Rebecca's motion to dismiss HOA actions made Eleanor's attorney squirm. She rushed an emergency meeting to retroactively approve actions, only 12 homeowners attending, her cronies voting at 11 p.m. She sued for $1.2 million, claiming my frivolous challenges were harassment, threatening my 700 acres. But her position was weak, standing on my porch, Grandpa's wind chimes singing. I knew she'd overplayed her hand, Grandpa's words echoing. Don't interrupt an enemy's mistakes. Eleanor's paranoia turned tyrannical, finding Christmas lights past January, $200. Backyard tomatoes, $500. Threatening to foreclose on elderly Dorothy Fletcher's home over $45 in late fees. Dorothy, a retired teacher grieving her husband's death, faced Eleanor's cold grief doesn't excuse irresponsibility. The community woke up. Dorothy's Oak Ridge Truth Tellers Facebook group growing from 5 to 43 in 2 weeks. Horror stories filling a novel. Navy veteran Harold Jenkins fined for excessive lawn uniformity. Allied with me at the hardware store, saying, "She's crazier than a soup sandwich. What can we do?" I held Know Your Rights workshops at the library. Drawing 8, then 22, then standing room only crowds taking notes. Dorothy found 1965 HOA covenants prohibiting land acquisition beyond the 50-lot plat, Eleanor's purchase violating her own bylaws. Ultra Vires acts void from the start. Harold uncovered $89,000 missing from the pool fund, funneled to Hargrove Designs for shoddy work. The pool a green, duct-taped mess billed at $30,000. Eleanor's community meeting response was desperate, hiring guards, scheduling votes when residents couldn't attend, threatening lawsuits for misinformation. Her voice shrilled as homeowners demanded answers. Guards uneasy protecting a tyrant. Outside agitators, she accused, pointing at me, but Dorothy's teacher voice cut through. I've lived here longer than you've been alive. This is about stealing. Applause shook windows, Eleanor's empire cracking. Rebecca's 6:47 a.m. call revealed a legal bombshell. 1960s records showed Grandpa bought subsurface rights in 1963 for $500. Owning the foundation under every Oak Ridge mansion, surface and mineral rights are separate, a lesson from my Army geology course. I could demand $15 million to relocate 50 homes or sell subsurface. Rights for $45 million. Eleanor's legal team's $25,000 emergency meeting admitted my unassailable position. No insurance covering this. Home values crashing as title insurers balked. Dorothy laughed. Eleanor's circling like a lost dog. Harold quipped. She thought she played chess with a country boy. You're three-dimensional. I could bankrupt 50 families or negotiate. Military training favoring. Minimal collateral damage. Rebecca's legal dream team included a veterans' rights attorney, forensic accountant Jennifer Walsh, tracing $340,000 embezzled by Eleanor, and a real estate expert. Our war room, Grandpa's study, smelled of leather and coffee, planning exposure, negotiation, enforcement. Dorothy's Bridge Club spied Eleanor's $2.3 million Swiss account. Harold's veteran convoy from 4 counties ready to witness justice. Our media strategy contrasted Grandpa's Bronze Star with Eleanor's theft, social media showing the fenced cemetery, tips sparking a state newspaper series. Rebecca offered 3 options: return my land plus damages, buy subsurface rights, or face evacuation and prosecution. Insurance exclusions and EPA violating lake contamination gave us federal leverage. Dorothy learned Eleanor planned to flee to Switzerland, liquidating assets, but her accounts were frozen, passport flagged. Community rebellion peaked. Dorothy's petition and Harold's recall got 38 signatures, media and the Attorney General investigating. As I sat in Grandpa's chair, his dog tags glinting, justice felt perfected. Eleanor's sabotage escalated. My well cracked, $12,000 repair. Her contractor blamed. Anonymous reports accused my cattle of lake pollution, soil tests proving them clean. Rumors of my PTSD outbursts turned the town against me. The diner owner. Under Eleanor's bank, refusing service, she offered $500,000 to relocate me, recorded as a bribe. Her vandals cut my fence. A cow dying on Route 42. News blaming my negligence. Eleanor's bankruptcy. And Cayman Islands transfer failed. FBI freezing her funds. Her frame-up used an actor at Murphy's Tavern. Fake footage of me threatening violence. And planted bourbon for a DUI charge. Her restraining order claimed I planned military-style attacks, banning me from Oak Ridge. Dorothy's Bridge Club caught Eleanor's plan to dissolve the HOA and flee. Her ticket bought with pool funds. Rebecca timed FBI warrants for 1 hour before her flight. The community center meeting saw 30 veteran vehicles, flags gleaming, 200 residents, media, and Sheriff Mitchell's deputies. Eleanor arrived in her Mercedes, her $800 an hour attorney in tow, her speech condescending. Mr. Blackwell needs adult supervision. Offering 400 acres for $1.2 million. I stood, veteran straightening. Rebecca projecting 1,963 subsurface rights documents. I own every foundation here. Gasps filled the room. Patricia Wells whispering, "Oh my God." I demanded $47 million or $15 million. Relocation. Dorothy played Eleanor's confession of forging taxes. FBI agent Rodriguez arresting her for wire fraud, conspiracy, embezzlement, and service members' Civil Relief Act violations. Sheriff Mitchell added money laundering charges. Her screams of persecution faded as handcuffs clicked. Veterans saluting justice. Harold shouted, "That's how we handle America's enemies." Applause roared. Motorcycles thundered. Eleanor got 5 years, $2.1 million restitution. The assessor jailed, disbarred. My 1,500 acres restored. The new HOA under Dorothy and Harold transparent. Fees cut. Values up 12%. I sold subsurface rights at 20% discount. $8.2 million over 10 years, a veteran's gift. My ranch house overlooks Grandpa's grave. Roses replanted. Dorothy's leadership and Harold's. Veteran groups transformed Oak Ridge. Library workshops went statewide. Patricia Kane's reporting spurred HOA audits, background checks. The Blackwell Veteran Scholarship Fund, with $500,000, supports 47 military kids. Our gala unites veterans and neighbors. Rebecca's seminars spread the Blackwell doctrine, protecting veterans. I married Janet Morrison, adopted 2 Marine orphans. Our ranch a veteran retreat. A California sergeant called, facing eminent domain. Pack your documents, son. Justice isn't done. Kids' laughter and grandpa's chimes sang victory, Eleanor's defeat. Liberate it all, drop your HOA nightmare. Was my mercy too soft, letting enablers off, or just? Where's the line between forgiveness and accountability? Share below, spark the debate.